Orchard ladders look like an ordinary step ladder with a little bit of difference. They have a free floating third leg on them that will go all the way closed or all the way out. And that's so that your ladder can be stuck right in between branches and get right close up to the tree. These three legs make a triangle. You don't want to have a real skinny triangle like that, because that's unstable. You don't want to have a real wide one like that, because if it's way out there and it happens to slip, you're going to go down real fast, a little roughly bigger than an equilateral triangle. The most important thing on ladders is if you're on any kind of a slope, anything other than level ground, you want to be going uphill or downhill with the ladder. Do not put the ladder so that it's on the side hill. That's real unsteady. Before I climb up on it, I like to put my foot on and just give it just a little shake to make sure that it's sturdy and solid. The newer ladders now have a red step on them. Older ones might not. You never ever stand on or above this step, because then you're too high and you're unsafe. So I kid around a lot, but this is one thing I don't kid about, that's like an offense that, you know, you can excuse me, you can lose your job for, because it's unsafe for you, and I don't want anybody to get hurt. Okay, so you've got it set. You just step up the ladder. When you get to a comfortable height to reach the fruit, I generally like to put my feet out towards the sides of the ladder and rest my knees either on the inside or on top of the rail. It just gives you a little more stability so that you can pick with both hands. Because if you're up here and you got your white knuckles here and you're only picking with one hand, it's going to slow you way down. So if you get it set right, then you can reach up, and it's practically like picking from the ground. The only difference is when you've picked everything that's within a comfortable reach, you're going to have to get down and move your ladder. So it is more work, especially if you're climbing up and down with a partial bag full. It's like doing the Stairmasters for half a day at a time. I always tell people, just pick what's in your comfort range. Don't be reaching for that perfect one on top that's slightly out of your reach and it's going to cause you to fall off. It's just not worth it. The other thing you want to remember is you still got that triangle. You want to keep your weight and the center of gravity inside that triangle. So that's what keeps it stable. These are incredibly stable and safe if they're used right. But if you're up here and you're going out, reaching out like this, and you've got half a bag of apples, all of a sudden the center of gravity shifts outside that triangle, then you're in danger of tipping over. So never stand on or above the red step of death. Keep a triangle. Keep your weight inside the triangle. Keep your feet a little spaced out so you've got good stability. Only pick what's safe and comfortable. And then I always have people, because I'm bound to forget something, on most ladders there'll be a little instruction on the side, usually Spanish and English, that talks about ladder safety. I say, read that. Sometimes I tell them, read it twice before you go up a ladder. And then you kind of want to watch them and make sure that they're doing things in a safe manner, because that's the most important. And if you're working with volunteers, you probably don't want to have them on any ladder that's taller than 6 or 7 feet. That takes a little experience before you get up there and feel comfortable with that. But again, if you're on a 6-foot ladder, you're up here, which is what, maybe 36 inches off the ground. You still can get hurt, but it's not quite the same as if you're up on a 10-foot ladder and you might be 7 feet up in the air. Part about getting them out of here into these bins, or if you're picking into field crates, is gentleness. Again, we're picking eggs and we're not making omelets here. So it's always hardest the first few layers into a bin, because you got to bend way over and get your bag right down on the bottom or on any fruit that's already in there. So go all the way down, then take your 2 straps, unhook them, and then real gently lift up. And sometimes I like to do a little sideways motion, you know, go from here to here as you're lifting. You can make that like in just one solid motion rather than a seesaw.
Right.
And then if you're working in a bin that's on a slant or it's like full on one side and low on the other, I always suggest going to the lowest spot, filling that up first. It's like the quieter you can do this, the better it is.
Right.
The less somebody can hear you, the better job you're doing. Out there it's fine, singing is okay, but you want to be quiet when you're dumping. One thing I tell my pickers is, you know, take a tree, do the whole tree, and move on to the next tree, rather than hop skipping around. Or 2 people can be on a tree, whatever is comfortable for you. That way you don't get accused of what the kids out here called skimming. Just picking the easy fruit and leaving the hard work for somebody else.
In step 3.6, you'll show apple washers their responsibilities, in that not all orchards will have apple washing facilities available. We'll handle this in a separate video.
One thing I'm personally real anal about is litter in the orchard. You know, so you want to make, if you're here, you want to make sure you pick up all your trash and carry it out. And again, I think most orchard owners would probably be something like that, because, you know, you're coming into their workspace, their home, their baby. You know, that's just common sense. You kind of want to treat it with respect. And
the most important thing about being a corpsman is to make sure that you walk up and down the aisles of the orchard, make sure we're not leaving any water bottles, gloves, hats, because it's really a hot button with the owners to make sure that that orchard is pristine before and after our experience. So if that's the last thing you do during the day, do that and everything's gonna be great. Work with those owners and make sure that that place is clean. Have fun with it. Remember, this is a volunteer effort. The owners have agreed to do this. They all know it's for a great cause, and the families and the kids that come out here are going to be realizing that this stuff they put in their hands is going to go to a family very soon.